This is the North Star Takes podcast with Bailey Policki and Jacob Liberta. You can find all our videos here on our channel. So if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. And if you're a Minnesota Wild fan especially, give this video a like as well. And feel free to give us a follow on both Twitter and Instagram. Today we're going to be discussing Minnesota Wild as they've started off hot here with a 2-0 start after a little mini West Coast road trip, beating the Ducks 2-1 and the Kings 3-2. So a couple close games, but late West Coast road games. The Kings and Ducks aren't great teams by any means, but you never know how it's going to go the first couple games of the season. But overall, I mean, they've looked pretty impressive so far. They've done a good job. They've kind of gotten some contributions, which we'll get into later, from some unlikely players. But Cam Talbot's been solid. It looks like the defense has been solid so far, which has been a question mark. So I guess what are your initial observations from the quick 2-0 start from the Wild?
Yeah, it's obviously always good to start the season on the right foot, winning a couple games in a row, especially back-to-back nights. I know that can be a little bit of a grind, but this early in the season, you'd like to think it wouldn't affect them too much. But at the same time, you're probably still getting your legs out under you starting the season here, especially fresh off the pine, honestly, because the Wild started a lot later than almost every other team in the NHL. So I think that's good that we started off on the right foot. And like you said, there's some closer games, but at the same time, it's nice to know we can find ways to win one-goal games, especially against what seems like familiar foes, just because these are 2 of the 7 teams we played last season. So, right. I mean, that's good that we still kept the good times rolling as we did last year. And I think, these are just wins that you want to have, albeit they're on the road. So, like, if you drop them, it's not the end of the world. But at the same time, it's like when you mentioned LA and Anaheim, like they're not that great a team. So you want to have as many of those games as possible. And, so can't complain. And then, but there's just a lot of good things that happened. I would say. I think coming back from 1-goal deficits in each game, the other team scored first. So that's good that we responded to that appropriately and just didn't get down in the game and stayed there. So that was good. And then, like you said, the defenses look pretty solid, backing up our guy Talbot, and Talbot too. He's played pretty great, and can't ask much more out of a guy than going back-to-back nights and really holding his own and doing well and giving us a chance to win. So a lot of things I think that went into these 2 wins. And I also mentioned the funny note is probably game 1 when Foligno was in the box for 17 minutes in the second period. I love it. And then he comes out of nowhere. Well, not really out of nowhere, but in the last 10 seconds of the game, burying the game-winning goal. And that's the latest ever game-winning goal for the Wild in the team history. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, Foligno's just one of those guys that, he'll spend a bunch of time in the penalty box, but he's going to fight his butt off. And, he always seems to score, like, a clutch goal. Or, I mean, he's a very skilled player for also being kind of our he's not really an enforcer, but he's kind of our enforcer, I guess. So
he's a physical player, yeah.
Exactly. So he kind of sets the tone, but he's also scoring goals. Like, he's well-deserving of that alternate captain, that's for sure.
Exactly.
One thing I was going to mention that I really liked in the Kings game, we got down 1-0, but then we just kind of had a barrage of goals there.
True.
And even that Brandon Duheim, you were talking about in the preseason here, he had his first goal, and then it was wiped away by a goalie interference review, I believe. And then, literally, a minute later, they come back and score again. It's like, this team's just relentless, man. They don't care. They'll just keep playing, and they'll keep doing their thing. And I think having the culture reset, getting Parise and Suter out of that locker room, having new leadership, I think that's big time for this team. And, I think they're just going to all try and lead by example and just let their play do the talking. And you can kind of see that already. Like Kevin Fiala talked about in the preseason how he's going to have fire in his eyes this year, and he's going to come out and play super hard because he wants a very nice contract. And he's already got a goal, an assist. Like, he's doing very well. So, that's good to see from him right off the bat.
Yeah, building off that mention Duheim, that was too bad that goal got waved off because that would have been his first career, obviously, because he's debuting this season. So that sucks. That's just deflation. But, I mean, he'll get his first goal here in due time. It'll be no pun intended there, but he'll get it soon enough. And then I was pretty happy that it ended up being Hartman because saw he was beefing with Drew Doughty, so that's always great that he got the last laugh and talking smack. So I mean that's always good too. But
Yeah, Drew Doughty kind of deserved that, I think, because it was a kind of a jokingly said, but there's a video that came out about how he said Kaprizov is overpaid, and it was a joke kind of how he said it, but it's kind of funny that that's how it worked out. Literally that night, like Hartman just out battles him and ends up scoring the goal. So yeah, speaking of guys like Hartman, we've had some really nice contributions from some unlikely players. Freddie Goudreau, the center on the Fiala line, he scored a goal. Yes. Victor Rask scored a goal, which is incredible because we thought he might not even make the team. Foligno clutching up at the end, like we said. So like they're getting some nice contributions from guys that you wouldn't necessarily expect. Like Kaprizov's yet to score a goal. Nothing from Eriksson Ek yet as well. So Fiala's in the scoring column. That's probably the only like one you would really think that of those top players on the team. But it's kind of nice that we're getting contributions from our depth already. And obviously Kaprizov is going to find ways to put pucks in the net. I'm not worried about that whatsoever. So it's kind of nice to see it from these other guys though as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm really impressed with what I've seen from Freddie Goudreau so far. I think he's definitely lived up to the billing of the hype Evason, I think, has had for him all along. And I know he worked with Evason and Goudreau worked together when he was coming up through Nashville's ranks with the Milwaukee Admirals in the AHL. So I know he had the familiarity there, and obviously he played with Fiala in Nashville. So he's looked great so far. He's played well both ways. So that's really good to see. And I think we need that to have a good player, a good, consistent, steady player on Fiala's line that's out there just grinding. So I'm pretty happy that he's brought back good results, albeit just a couple games, but still, I think definitely need that. And the deeper your team goes, the more better off you're going to be, obviously, especially when you're trying to make a serious playoff push and make a run to the cup. So I think that's huge, getting contributions from a guy like Goudreau, but then going even beyond that, like you mentioned, getting a goal from Victor Rask. It was coincidentally too that he was out on the ice with Matt Zuccarello and Kaprizov like he was last year.
Kaprizov just set him up, man. That was a sweet pass.
Oh, yes, exactly. So that's the thing, too, with going back to Kaprizov a little bit, obviously not unlikely sources, but that guy, he's going to get his goals. But the thing is, he goes beyond just goal scoring, too. So he's just a huge playmaker on offense. So that's going to continue, and I'm pretty excited for that. And hopefully he'll score a goal here in the home opener.
Yeah, he's already got a couple assists, tied for the team lead in points. It's only through 2 games, but he's obviously still contributing. Yeah. So, the home opener, they got Winnipeg Jets coming up, who are, let me check their record here. I believe they're 0-2. Like half our division doesn't have a win yet, and everyone's played at least 2 or 3 games. So, it's super early, but we're the only team in the division that's 2-0 with 4 points.
All right.
It's kind of encouraging, I guess. Like Chicago's looked really rough in their first few games. Nashville, I don't think is going to be very good. Obviously, Arizona's going to be really bad, I think. Winnipeg's always kind of a wild card, but I'll be kind of curious to see how we come out against them in our home opener, and if we can kind of make a statement with them and have a nice solid win, that'd be really great.
Yeah, it's always fun beating Winnipeg, and I think as Michael Russo just pointed out within the last couple of days that we haven't played Winnipeg in like 22 months. So
just crazy to think about.
Yeah, they're one of our biggest rivals, and it feels like forever ago since we played them. So it'd be nice to renew that rivalry, and you'll definitely notice there's probably no love lost. So can't wait for that.
And a packed XL Energy Center for the first time in a long time as well. Like
I can't wait to get.
It's going to be surreal, man. It was kind of cool. Like when the NFL came back, you got to see full stadiums there. Like it's going to be really cool to see it in some of these other sports now as well.
Absolutely,
with hockey and basketball coming back. So I'm really excited for that. I think the Wild have a chance to be really good this year, and obviously starting off hot is a good way to go right off the bat. So hopefully they can keep up doing what they're doing, and just keep kicking butt, man. Let's win that division. Let's leave no doubt. How about?
Yes, let's get past Colorado, huh?
Absolutely. So that'll do it for this edition of the North Star Takes podcast. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button if you're new to this channel. If you're a Minnesota sports fan in general or a Wild fan specifically, give this video a like as well, as it helps spread the message and spread our videos to other Minnesota sports fans as well. Give us a follow on both Twitter and Instagram, and leave your comments below about your thoughts on the Wild's hot start and what to expect from this point forward. So thanks for watching.